What can an NBA star teach us about NFTs? How did Under Armour sell nearly 3,000 of them at $333 each simply by celebrating three-pointers? If I wear my expensive new basketball trainer NFTs in the metaverse but no one's there to see them, do they still count as status symbols? And what the slam dunk does any of this have to do with those of us who still live in the real world? This is Zonal Marketing. How are we? Welcome to episode 18 of Zonal Marketing, a series which explores how challenger brands are shaking up their industries with innovative marketing using the tactical lessons taken from the world of sport as our guide. I'm Simon Vincent, the marketing tactician, and in this episode I'll be breaking down a recent campaign from Under Armour that involved NFTs, cryptocurrency, Web3 and a whole load of other tech terms that are particularly buzzy right now. I'll be explaining how one particularly hot curry helped create some particularly hot property without actually creating anything at all. And finally, I'll be explaining how you can apply the lessons taken from the campaign as a whole to marketing your own company, whether or not you know your Ethereum from your elbow. So let's kick this off. First of all, we need to clear up some definitions. I don't want to leave anyone behind, and all of the following will be referenced throughout this piece. So, NFT stands for non-fungible tokens. Essentially, these are digital assets, usually in the form of JPEGs, that can be bought and sold using, second term we need to define, cryptocurrency. Now, you're probably familiar with this, but crypto, as cooler people than me call it, is a form of digital-only currency, the most famous examples being Bitcoin and Ethereum. And cryptocurrency is built on a platform called, third term we need to define, blockchain. Now this is a database that essentially secures the whole thing. So how do I make sure that the cryptocurrency I own belongs to me? Blockchain. How do I know that the NFT I've just bought with my cryptocurrency belongs to me? Blockchain. Finally, we need to mention the metaverse. Now, you'll probably be familiar with this because of Facebook nailing its colours to the figurative MetaMast. Essentially, the metaverse is an alternate reality, a sort of advanced video game which continues to be played by other people even when you're not on it. You have your own avatar in the metaverse, a digital representation of you, and because you use a virtual reality headset to access it, the idea is that the experience is more immersive, more realistic, and therefore the closest thing we have to something that could replace real-life face-to-face interaction in the future, if that's your thing. The metaverse is sometimes referred to as Web3, as meta-optimists believe it will be the third wave of the internet, with wave 1 being static sites built by established companies, and wave 2 being the age of social media sites and no-code development opening up the internet to small businesses and individuals. Web3, so something, will be as fundamental a change to the way we use the internet as the first two waves, which, if you believe it, is quite a statement. So, clear as mud? Good. For those of you who remain, let's look at how one brand brought all of the above together as part of a marketing campaign that raised nearly $1 million in just 2 minutes. In December 2021, Steph Curry broke the record for lifetime three-point shots in basketball. The Golden State Warriors player notched his 2,974th three-pointer, and to celebrate, his trainer sponsor Under Armour launched an NFT. Specifically, the NFT took the form of 2,974 digital pairs of shoes that could be purchased by fans and worn by their avatars in the metaverse. Each NFT cost $333, meaning Under Armour was able to generate nearly $1 million in revenue from the initiative, money the brand donated to Steph Curry's own charity, by the way. The launch had to be delayed by a day after oversubscription caused the various sites that the campaign was run on to go down, and when they did eventually go live, every single NFT was snapped up in less than 2 minutes. Resales of Cyber Steph Curry sneaks are now reported to be going for north of $70,000 each. So how did Under Armour ensure this campaign was such a slam dunk? After all, they're not the first company in their industry to alley-oop on the meta bandwagon. Two of the brand's competitors, Nike and Adidas, already had NFT projects underway. And yet more brands from outside the sports industry are launching initiatives all the time that are frankly ill-conceived, seem to have no relationship to the companies themselves, and are, surprise, surprise, failing to launch. Well, first of all, Under Armour spotted an opportunity. That opportunity was a moment in time that they were able to predict with some degree of accuracy and therefore prepare for. When the moment came, they were ready. They had the infrastructure in place, the marketing plan ready to go, and were primed to feed off the natural newsworthiness that the moment would generate organically. For more on how to spot an opportunity, by the way, check out my last essay on how to pick your moments. Secondly, they harnessed the power of scarcity and social proof. The scarcity of only having a limited number of NFTs available upped the FOMO. As Robert Cialdini, the co-author of Yes, 50 Secrets from the Science of Persuasion says, our typical reaction to scarcity hinders our ability to think. The feeling of being in competition for scarce resources has powerfully motivating properties. Meanwhile, the buzz this FOMO generated, alongside the association with one of the biggest NBA stars in the world, of course, provided all the social proof needed to reassure customers that this was an initiative worth literally buying into. Now, for more on making the most of scarcity and social proof, I recommend my essay on gegenpressing marketing. But okay, I hear you say, it's all well and good doing something like this when you have the budgets of Under Armour and the backing of a sports phenomenon. How do the rest of us get this to work? Great question. Thanks for asking. In the next section, I'm going to be talking about what we can take from this example and apply to our own marketing, whether you want to sell real trainers, digital versions, or even pixelated gorilla faces. Here's the thing, while all of the jargon and tech involved may make this story feel completely unrelatable to most brands, in many respects, the tactics on show are no different to those that have existed for decades and decades. Luxury brands have forever charged huge amounts of money for their goods and had no problem convincing rich people to buy them, by the way, through limiting their availability. Traditionally, such limitations were justified by billing the products as handcrafted or of a particularly rare or high quality, and the social proof came from being in the know. If you were able to tell a Patek Philippe from a Rolex, then you were in the club. And if you were in the club, you should really own a status symbol that shows the rest of the world how bloody clever and rich you are. But then Supreme came along, making skatewear, admittedly high quality skatewear, but skatewear nonetheless. Founder James Jebbia justified his decision to limit stock on the basis that he simply couldn't afford to have a line fail. He literally needed to sell out of everything, so he tells us in the early days, to make sure he made a profit. Of course, the social proof that later came through endless collaborations with The North Face, Nike and Louis Vuitton, as well as the celebrity endorsements from the likes of Kanye West, Drake and Lady Gaga, probably helped cash flow somewhat. Nowadays, Supreme sell otherwise plain white t-shirts with their logo emblazoned on the chest for $400. Except that they don't, because they're almost always sold out. And when it comes to spotting a great brand opportunity off the back of a sporting event, look at an example like Oreo, posting their now uber famous "You Can Still Dunk in the Dark" tweet during the 2013 Super Bowl blackout. Now, this was a company that was not an official NFL sponsor, that didn't pay millions to advertise during halftime, and yet, having put in the hard yards, building the social following over many years around a commitment to a clear brand archetype, tone of voice and visual identity, all it took was one brilliantly timed, super on-brand post, and lo and behold, the tweet went viral, the brand's tribe grew exponentially, and I would posit it was Oreo, not the Baltimore Ravens, that won the Super Bowl that year. For more on how to build a brand identity, check out my essay on how not to be boring. Okay, that's about all for this week. For more on the topics mentioned in this essay, I recommend checking out my core Zonal Marketing playlist, on which I take you through the process of building a considered, consistent and compelling marketing mix from scratch, taking my lead from the world of sports tactics. If you'd prefer more of the human touch, doubtful given that you're watching a video about the metaverse, you can ask me to talk through these ideas with you and your team one-on-one. I'm available for speaking gigs, training sessions and client work, and to find out any of that you can visit x-cmo.com. Please check back here every week for a new episode, each one explaining another part of my tactical approach to marketing through a sporting lens. And as always, if you are enjoying this series, please do like, comment and share. It all really helps the channel. And if it helps the channel, I'm hoping it'll help more people just like you. Until next time, thank you for your attention.